It's November 24th, 2024. Here in Fukuoka, near the western edge of Japan, we're down to the final match of the 15-day Grand Sumo tournament. And ooh boy, is it a doozy. Kotozakura and Hoshoryu are set to face off in a winner-takes-all bout. Both enter with 13-1 records, and this match will decide who walks away with the Yusho, the tournament championship. They're the highest-ranked Ozeki, Sumo's second highest rank below Yokozuna, but not the highest name on the Banzuke, Pro Sumo's official rankings. No, that honor belongs to the 73rd Yokozuna Terunofuji, who had been absent since winning the July tournament. He's still dealing with a variety of health issues, from chronic knee and lower back pain to his ongoing battle with diabetes. At this point in his career, he's missing more tournaments than he's actually competing in. And since capturing his 10th career championship to cement his legacy, speculation of retirement have been swirling. So for Kotozakura and Hoshoryu, this match is about more than just the Yusho. It could decide who takes the lead in the race to become Sumo's next Yokozuna. Becoming a Yokozuna is more than just reaching the highest rank in sumo. It also means becoming the face of the sport. And the journey to reaching Yokozuna is a long and arduous one. A wrestler must climb his way up the rankings to reach the lower ranks of the Senyaku. From there, they have to win roughly 33 matches over 3 consecutive tournaments to get considered for a promotion to Ozeki. An Ozeki can become a Yokozuna if he wins back-to-back championships, or at least championship-worthy performances. Terunofuji climbed that mountain, nearly reached the top, fell close to the bottom, and then climbed it again to get to the peak. Let's go back to 2015. At 23, he became an Ozeki and looked poised to become the next great Mongolian wrestler and continue his country's 21st century dominance of Japan's national sport. The previous 4 Mongolians who reached Ozeki all went on to become Yokozuna. But for Terunofuji, a laundry list of injuries took their toll on his big body over the next 2 years. He underwent knee surgery in June 2017 and tried rushing back to the ring the very next tournament, but he only made things worse. For several months, he battled through the pain, but kept withdrawing early and slipping down the ranks. First out of Ozeki, and then down to Juryo, Sumo's second highest division. Then came the kidney stones and diabetes. The guy just couldn't catch a break. So, he made a decision. Undergo surgery on both knees and take the time to fully heal. It meant missing the next 4 tournaments. Pro Sumo is an unforgiving sport. Unless you're a Yokozuna, missing a tournament counts the same as getting 0 wins. There's no injury list. You're just shuffled down the rankings. And Terunofuji plummeted all the way down to Jonidan, the second lowest of Sumo's 6 divisions. But instead of becoming a what-if story, he fought back, crediting the unwavering support of his wife during his lowest point. He returned in March 2019 and cruised through the lower divisions. He became an Ozeki again in May 2021, adding 2 runner-up finishes and 3 titles along the way. The next tournament, he entered as the defending champion. On day 15, he was 14-0, as was the man who stood across from him, the legendary Hakuho, Sumo's 69th Yokozuna, who, tell me if you heard this one before, had missed numerous tournaments recently due to injuries. Their battle was fierce, and Hakuho won. It was a fairy tale ending to his career. He recorded his 45th championship, a mark that dwarfs every other champion in sumo history. But it was also a passing of the torch. Despite the loss, the Yokozuna Deliberation Council recommended Terunofuji's promotion after back-to-back championship-worthy performances. And at first, he lived up to it by winning his next 2 tournaments. But then the injury bug returned. At this point, injuries have limited him to completing just 8 of the 20 tournaments since his promotion. But in those, he's posted a 101-19 record, an astonishing 84% winning percentage. He's finished runner-up once during that stretch and won an incredible 6 championships to bring his grand total up to 10. With double digits, many English-speaking fans began calling him a Dai Yokozuna, a great grand champion. When he was healthy, he was dominant. But those moments were becoming fewer and fewer. Over the past few years, the chase to become the next Yokozuna saw many faces come and go. Like Takakeisho, who aimed to become the next great Japanese Yokozuna. He came close, but injuries ended his dream, forcing him to retire in September of 2024. Mongolian wrestler Kirishima looked ready to continue his country's dominance. He may have been just one win away from a promotion in January 2024. The head of the judging department said that a Day 15 victory over Terunofuji could have sparked serious promotion talk. But he lost. So it became the next man up, or in this case, the next men up. Kotozakura and Hoshoryu were the young rising stars gunning to be Sumo's potential next Yokozuna. Kotozakura, who turned 27 during this tournament, reached Ozeki back in March. He's been solid in recent years. Since the start of 2022, he only had one losing record in 18 tournaments. And this year, he enters the Day 15 match tied for the most wins in 2024 with 65. It feels like after 9 years of being a pro, it's all coming together for him. And with good reason. Sumo is in his blood. His grandfather was the original Kotozakura, who became the 53rd Yokozuna in 1973. His father, Koto Nowaka, was one of his top students, a longtime wrestler who later married his daughter and peaked as a sekiwaki. Koto Nowaka later took over his father-in-law's stable. The younger Kotozakura quickly took to the sport. After graduating high school, he turned pro and made his debut in 2015. In March 2020, he climbed to the top division. He and his dad became just the 9th father and son duel to reach Makuuchi, and he certainly did not lack confidence. He worked his way up the rankings, but over the last year, he found his stride, finishing runner-up in 3 of 4 tournaments from November 2023 to May 2024. But across from him on this day stood another young star who looked to build his own legacy, one out from under his uncle's shadow. The 25-year-old Hoshoryu was the latest in a long line of dominant Mongolian wrestlers. His uncle, Asa Shoryu, was the 68th Yokozuna and the first from Mongolia to reach such heights. Hoshoryu was recruited to join a prestigious high school sumo program. He nearly made history to become the first foreign-born high school Yokozuna, losing only to Roga in the finals. After high school, he turned pro in 2018, and he reached the top division in 2020. From January 2022 to this tournament, he built up a streak of 18 consecutive tournaments without suffering a losing record. In July 2023, after winning his first Makuuchi championship, he received a promotion to Ozeki. And with 61 wins this year, he ranked 3rd in the division. Both wrestlers had history in their blood, and the future of sumo on their shoulders. Back to the final match on Day 15 of the November 2024 tournament. After the Tachiai, the initial charge, the two battled with a series of fierce thrusting attacks. Hoshoryu would get a right-handed grip on Kotozakura's mawashi and went for one of his patented throws. Kotozakura deflects Hoshoryu's attempt and spins him around. Hoshoryu slips slightly and his opponent slaps him down to the clay to claim victory. The normally stoic Kotozakura tries to keep his emotion in check, but the intensity in his eyes told a different story. It was his first championship in the top division, and he finished the year with the most wins of any wrestler. This was his moment, a chance to bring more prestige to his family and to become just the second Japanese wrestler to earn a promotion to Yokozuna in the 21st century. But even in defeat, Hoshoryu remains in the conversation. The Japan Sumo Association said both men were still eligible for a promotion, if they can earn it at the next tournament. The January basho in Tokyo could have been one for the ages. Terunofuji tried to give one final swan song, a final boss for these two rising contenders. But after starting 2-2, he announced his retirement, finally conceding to the toll of injuries and illness that had dogged his career. If Kotozakura and Hoshoryu were as dominant as they were in November, both could have become immortalized. It would have been only the 5th time in sumo history that 2 wrestlers were promoted to Yokozuna together, and the first since the legendary Taiho and his rival Kashiwado in November 1961. Of course, it could have ended with neither being promoted, just another pair of what-if stories in sumo's long history. And we would be left with no Yokozuna to start a tournament for the first time in more than 3 decades. But, like how it's settled in the Dokyo, this story ends with a winner and a loser. Kotozakura started strong, defeating Takanosho in an exhausting 41-second bout on day 1, but then 5 straight losses crushed his Yokozuna dreams. Hoshoryu, meanwhile, opened 4-0 before suffering his first defeat. But by day 9 he was 6-3 and his Yokozuna hopes were fading fast, and matches with both Kotozakura and rising star Onosato were still ahead. But he battled back, winning his final 6 scheduled matches to force a 3-way playoff with Oho, another 3rd-generation wrestler with a Yokozuna grandfather, and the upstart Kinbozan, who is fighting the tournament of his life. Hoshoryu manhandled Kinbozan, throwing him out of the ring, and then battled past Oho to win the championship. The next day, the promotion became official. He was named the 74th Yokozuna, adding another chapter to Mongolia's sumo legacy. As for Kotozakura, his fall meant that the wait for the next Japanese Yokozuna would go on for 2 more tournaments, but that is a story for another day. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing to my channel. I've got more stuff coming soon, including a preview of the upcoming basho.